If you remember last night's game, Marshall came back after being down 15-0. They did not score a point in the first quarter, but then they won that game in double overtime, and that's what brings them here today to the 2A state championship game. And I am joined now by Marshall head coach Dorothy Gators. Coach, 43 years of coaching. That has to be one of the more memorable games that you have ever had.
Yeah, it ranks pretty high, but you know, when you've been doing it as long as I have, we've seen a lot of things happen.
What we haven't seen before, actually, are two Chicago schools in the state finals for girls basketball. As someone who has been around basketball for so long, what does this mean for your program and for Chicago schools?
Well, in terms of Chicago basketball, I think it speaks volumes that we have a lot of very competitive teams there. So, you know, we're excited to be down here with Harlan.
And now business to take care of. A late game for you guys last night, of course, going even later into double overtime. So how did you get your team ready for today and make sure that fatigue doesn't settle in?
Well, you know, if they can't get themselves up for this game, then we don't need to be here. So I think they're pretty much, you know the reason why we're here, and hopefully we'll have a good start.
After all your years of coaching, what does it tell you about a state championship game and how to approach it with these girls?
Well, number one, it tells you not to take anything for granted, that anyone can win. They're all quality teams down here, and we respect that. But we also think that we're one of those teams.
Coach, thank you so much. And we are just minutes away from our 2A state championship game between Marshall and Harlan. Don't go anywhere because we have good basketball coming up after this.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
All this took was a pristine SAT, ACT, and GPA. Before that, a healthy dose of travel field hockey, volunteering, the arts, and 18 years of everything else. Sending a kid to college is overwhelming. But to solve the big challenges of tomorrow, start with simple steps today. If you're ready to start, we're ready to help. So let's get started at countryfinancial.com. First, it was the love of your life. Then, the promotion you deserved. The daughter you planned for. And the son you didn't. Now you're ready for a new home. So how do you properly protect all this? To solve the big challenges of tomorrow, start with simple steps today. If you're ready to start, we're ready to help. So let's get started at countryfinancial.com.
Harlan's Dejanay Winston, 16 points yesterday in their winning effort. So expect Miss Steph Curry, as Coach likes to call her, to throw up some more threes tonight after sinking 3 last night. And Marshall's Reynie also with 16 points yesterday, and a big part of that fourth quarter comeback in one of the most historic games that we have seen here in the state finals. Confidence is high for Marshall. And good evening. Welcome inside Redbird Arena, where we are about to bring you the 2A state championship game between Harlan and Marshall. Both teams fought very hard to get here. Marshall, a double overtime game last night. To now bring them here, where we have 2 Chicago schools in the state finals for the first time ever in girls basketball. I just talked to the coaches, and they know how big this is for the program, but what would be bigger is bringing home a win, and their minds are set on playing basketball. And so are the minds of those who are on the call tonight. We have Dave Bernhardt and Trish Babcock. Good evening, guys. This should be a great game, especially after the games that both of these teams had yesterday. Confidence really for both teams high.
You know, and that's exactly what I was thinking, Elise, in terms of how they had to do what they did to get here. And I hearken back, Trish, as we sit here at the floor of Redbird Arena. I think back to 1977, and yes, I do remember those days. It was the day and the year of the first girls basketball state finals. It was just across the street at Horton Fieldhouse. And you know, it's taken us 41 years, whether it's 2-class basketball or 4-class basketball, to get to the moment we're at right now.
Well, you talk about history, and this is such a big night for the Chicago Public Schools. We've talked about this is the first time ever that 2 Chicago Public Schools are in the state championship game. You know, in the old 2-class system, the Chicago Public Schools could only send 1 team to the state finals, so there was no opportunity for them to ever play each other. And the other interesting thing is that there have only been 2 teams in Illinois state history from the Chicago Public Schools to make it to the state championship game. That's Marshall and Whitney Young. Now here's another bit of history. Harlan is that 3rd team, so just a big night all around for the Chicago Public Schools.
You just heard from our 2 coaches, Eddie Niles and Dorothy Gators, and if you were watching with us last night, you saw how they handle their games, you know, and I look at this and I think this is going to be what experience and enthusiasm is our headline.
Well, Dorothy Gators and Eddie Niles are both Chicago Public School coaches, but that's about where the similarities end. Gators is a big-time veteran. This is her 43rd year in coaching. Niles is a relative newbie compared to Gators. This is just his 7th year. Gators has been to 21 Final Fours and has won 8 state championships. Niles is here in the state finals for the first time ever. And even the sideline demeanors will be different between these 2 coaches. Gators is cool, calm, collected, and even quiet, like a coach of 43 years would be. She rarely even stands up on the sidelines. Niles, a little more animated. He jumps up and down, he screams and points. He's part of the entertainment himself. So 2 great coaches, but 2 very different styles.
So Eddie Niles kicking back right now. It's not going to be like that in a few minutes. We're ready. We've got the Class 2A state championship ball game. A couple of Chicago Public League schools. Marshall going for their 9th state title. Harlan looking for number 1. And it's coming your way.
You work hard, and you want to see your efforts pay off. Literally. Whether you're dreaming of retirement, growing your business, or leaving a legacy for future generations. At Busey, we help you realize the possibilities of tomorrow. We listen to your needs and goals to create a sound strategy for you and your family. Enjoy the achievements of your life and work. We'll handle the rest. Busey, your dream, our promise.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
All this took was a pristine SAT, ACT, and GPA. Before that, a healthy dose of travel field hockey, volunteering, the arts, and 18 years of everything else. Sending a kid to college is overwhelming. But to solve the big challenges of tomorrow, start with simple steps today. If you're ready to start, we're ready to help. So let's get started at countryfinancial.com. First, it was the love of your life. Then, the promotion you deserved. The daughter you planned for. And the son you didn't. Now you're ready for a new home. So how do you properly protect all this? To solve the big challenges of tomorrow, start with simple steps today.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, before our soloist sings our national anthem, we ask you to remember and honor the men and women of the United States Armed Forces serving throughout the world with this moment of silence. Thank you. And now we ask that you join our guest soloist, Madeline Alvarado, a senior student at Lockport Township High School, in the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And now, fans, here are your starting lineups for this Class 2A IHSA Girls Basketball State Championship game. First, from Marshall High School, a senior, number 11, Dion Reynie. From Chicago Harlan, a junior, number 2, Tennille Robertson. From Marshall, a junior, number 14, Brandy Hudson. For Harlan, a junior, number 3, Kamira Burks. For Marshall, a junior, number 20, Dashiera Butts. For Harlan, a senior, number 5, Dejanay Winston. For Marshall, a freshman, number 23, Naya Zamudio. For Harlan, a senior, number 21, Brittany Williams. For Marshall, a sophomore, number 25, Roquisha Sims. And for Harlan, a senior, number 33, Akila Anderson.
When we show you the map of Illinois and show you different schools that match up against each other in state championship ball games, there are usually those red dots all over the map. Not tonight. Of course, Harlan from Chicago Public League, enrollment of 474. And for Marshall, you can just leave that right side of your screen the same, because for the Marshall Commandos, they too hail from Chicago, an enrollment of 359. And the thing that's interesting to note about these two teams, last year they both competed in 3A. This year they down in 2A. Marshall had decided to not petition to play up as they had the last 2 years. Harlan just dropped down. And for Marshall Commandos, There is the winningest coach in Illinois basketball history, Dorothy Gators. 1,105 victories. She has won 85% of her games in 43 years. 8 state championships as part of that total. And on the other side for Harlan, the Lady Falcons coached by Eddie Niles. In his 7th season, 114 victories. He comes to ISU with a record of 26-6, Marshall at 21-7. And Trish, we saw these teams almost identical in how they approached the game defensively in the second halves last night. They turned up the pressure, forcing Eureka into topless to turn the ball over, got the game going in their favor. What do you see tonight early in this game?
That is a good question, because both of these teams kind of tried to maximize the legs a little bit by holding off in the first half. You wonder if maybe trying to get off to a quicker start. Both of these teams were kind of slow starters last night, trying to conserve energy. Neither of these teams have extremely deep benches. You wonder if there might be a little bit of a surprise for either of these teams with some pressure early instead of waiting late.
You're getting a look at one of the great point guards in Illinois, junior Tenille Robertson. Double-double last night, 16 points and 12 rebounds. She also had 4 assists and 3 steals.
And she was super great at the free throw line late for Harlan. That really made a big difference, hit 7 of her 8 free throws.
She's going to fire up the 3 here. Robertson, who competed in the three-point contest, one of the final 4 yesterday. Country Financial three-point showdown. Now Marshall the opportunity. Handling the point here is Dion Rainey. Rainey will have that ball in her hands for 50% of the time. Brandy Hudson has it poked away. Here comes Robertson, great speed. And it will be Harlan who will strike first. Tenille Robertson averages 12.3 points per game.
Both of these teams being super opportunistic off of the turnovers. Harlan forced 19 Eureka turnovers last night. They scored a lot of their points in that second half off of those turnovers.
Tenille Robertson gets it and goes, just outrunning the field.
It's a tough shot to make, too. Defenders on both sides of her having to score in a lot of traffic. She is spunky for this team, 5'3". So much of the heavy lifting with handling the basketball, especially against pressure, and really kind of managing this team offensively.
Dashiera Butts gets to start tonight. She has the ball now. Dorothy Gators, her starting lineup is fluid. It will change every game for whatever reason, whether it's missing a practice, whether it's better matchups. She is certainly not locked into any starting 5. Tough angle along that baseline. Keila Anderson with the rebound. She had a big ball game last night, had 10 points. 5'11" senior. There's Brittany Hudson, honorable mention All-Stater. She's had some ankle problems. Sprained her ankle a couple of weeks ago. Kind of struggled last night at times. 6 points and 5 boards.
Here's some full court pressure right out of the gate by Marshall.
Winston, the bounce. An easy 2 from Kamira Burks.
I don't know if Harlan could have handled it any better. That was textbook, the way to break down a press. Very nice.
Reynie in trouble. Hudson with numbers. We'll go again, Keila Anderson.
And Harlan unleashing a little bit of a half-court trap there as well. So both of these coaches coming out with some pressure right away.
Brandy Hudson at the free throw line for Marshall with 2 shots.
Brandy Hudson, one of 6 players on this Marshall team that played in the Class 3A tournament last year here at Redbird Arena. Lost in the semifinals to Rochester before claiming the 3rd place trophy. At the bottom of the net for Brandy Hudson. That's a carry. Tenille Robertson, a transfer from Morgan Park.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to say, Dave, I'm sorry. That's the best case scenario, too, for a defense in pressure, is just to have the other team make its own mistake. And now then you start getting into their heads, and they start to second guess everything as they're bringing the ball up against pressure. That was a big defensive possession for Marshall.
Zone here for Harlan. Push inside. Marshall last night held to 46 points. That took 2 overtimes to get there. For the longest time, it appeared as if it would be held below their season low of 42 points. And remember, it was over 12 minutes that Marshall went without scoring to start the game. Fell behind 15-0, and then had the big second half. Winston, the 3. Down it goes. Dejanay Winston, her 105th three-pointer of the year. She will catch and shoot from anywhere on the floor. Quickly into the game for Marshall. Had an impact yesterday. 6'2" sophomore Kenosha Walker. Here's Winston. Winston knocking down the 3, and that is exactly what Eddie Niles wants from his Miss Steph Curry.
Yeah, he says, I expect her to shoot threes. I expect her to make them. I've seen her make them since she was an 8th grader.
Reynie, she led the comeback last night. Can't get it to go. Why don't you throw the ball off the floor? Walker didn't see it. Winston's there.
Cannot be running with your back towards the basketball. Got to backpedal on defense, guys.
When we come back, Dejanay Winston will be at the free throw line. Harlan on top by 5.
First, it was the love of your life. Then, the promotion you deserved. The daughter you planned for. And the son you didn't. Now you're ready for a new home. So how do you properly protect all this? To solve the big challenges of tomorrow, start with simple steps today. If you're ready to start, we're ready to help. So let's get started at countryfinancial.com.
You work hard, and you want to see your efforts pay off, literally. Whether you're dreaming of retirement, growing your business, or leaving a legacy for future generations, at Busey, we help you realize the possibilities of tomorrow. We listen to your needs and goals to create a sound strategy for you and your family. Enjoy the achievements of your life and work. We'll handle the rest. Busey, your dream, our.
Hi, my name is Kenan Niles from Harlan High School. Something about my coach that you all don't know is that he loves shoes. Jordans specifically. Something funny about my teammates that most people don't know is Brittany can't dance. A TV show that I watch regularly is Law & Order SVU, but only in the morning time because I'm scared to watch it at night. The strangest food I ever eaten was raccoon. It tastes like a regular meat. It doesn't, because a raccoon is ugly, it didn't taste weird. It tastes regular. My favorite dance move is the dab. Hey.
Boy, that's Kayla Niles. She's the daughter of head coach Eddie Niles. Raccoon.
Yeah, no. But I thought it was interesting that she said something interesting that you don't know about my coach, like not referring to him as her father. But boy, I tell you, Eddie Niles, super proud of Kayla Niles. I've talked a lot about what a great volleyball player she is and also what a great student she is. Number 5 in her class with a 3.7 GPA and National Honor Society as well.
Rainey with the miss. There's Walker. She did that last night. Kenosha Walker. Last night, 5 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 blocks in limited minutes.
Yeah, she was big off the bench for Marshall, and not just the offense, but the defense that she provided in the paint. And Winston heating up. That's her specialty, those 3-pointers.
Knocked down her in the second 3. Midway through the first quarter of your 2A championship ball game. First time ever, 2 CPS schools have met in a title game, the girls' state tournament. Walker, nice dish to Butts. Here come the Lady Falcons. This is going up from Burks. Williams now from Winston.
How about another one?
She was looking, Butts right there. Nashiero Butts on the move. We didn't see it last night from Harlan. The shot just past half court. It's part of the offense. Reynie hit a big three last night. She gets one here. Reynie, a 3-year starter. Last year, her role for the team was to be the distributor. And this year, she's expected to score.
She had 16 points last night. Huge at the free throw line late. In fact, Rainey really controlled the basketball game last night for Marshall.
Williams with the deflection. Off the bench for Harlan is Eileen Benton, a 5'10" senior. Also in the game is Dejanay James. James yesterday, the 5'9" sophomore, 4.6 rebounds. Good numbers, but her impact was felt in so many different ways. She was all over the floor and led that comeback. Walker inside, goes Glass.
She is going to be tough to stop if she can get herself going. Walker with a huge height advantage over anybody from Harlan.
Foul called against Naya Zamudio. She's a freshman. Young team for Marshall. Of course, the Gators, always thinks about, will this year be my last year? Will this year be my last year? And she laughed, when we approached her with that subject. Says, well, I've got a really young team this year.
She says that everybody always is asking her that. 43 years that you kind of get to that point, but she says, I'm still enjoying it. I still really like being around the girls. I still love the game of basketball. I still love coaching. And I think she even said to us, I feel like I have a greater calling than just coaching, that I really want to impact the girls that I coach in a positive way, give them a positive role model, help them be solid citizens. So I think that's on her mind as well, and she feels like she has much more to give.
Harlan has missed all 4 free throws it's attempted. Burks with a couple of misses there. Robertson. Here she comes. Knocked away. James full speed ahead. Walker.
There's Walker. Boy, she is getting involved, especially on the boards. There's a couple baskets now by Walker to go along with 4 rebounds.
Benton uses up the dribble. Winston's able to track it down. Lakeisha Sims all over Winston. You can see in the lower left-hand portion of your screen, Lakeisha Sims tighter than anyone else in the player they're guarding. Zamudio off the miss from Burks. Some missed free throws have led to this Marshall lead. Missed free throws by Harlan.
Foul number 2, Neil Robertson.
Neil Robertson, with 1 minute left here in the first quarter, will have a seat after having picked up her 2nd personal foul. That will bring Kayla Niles off the bench. Harlan will only go about 7 deep. They only dress 8. Benton working at it with Walker.
David, you wonder how that lack of depth for Harlan will factor into this game. A tough game last night in the semifinals. Bound to see some pressure in this game from Marshall. And with that short bench, how will Harlan be able to handle that?
Harlan trying to put an end to a 7-0 Marshall run. It's the Commandos that will have a chance to build on this 1-point lead. Left side Zamudio, 3 going up. Tracked down nicely by Sims.
Pass.
Finds Rainey. A 9-0 run.
Rainey just snuck back there on that backside, and Harlan forgot to defend.
Last 9 points of this first quarter scored by the Marshall Commandos, looking for the 9th state championship. On top, 13-10.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
All this took was a pristine SAT, ACT, and GPA. Before that, a healthy dose of travel field hockey, volunteering, the arts, and 18 years of everything else. Sending a kid to college is overwhelming. But to solve the big challenges of tomorrow, start with simple steps today. If you're ready to start, we're ready to.
Here's team on top of Eddie Niles' club, 13-10 after one here in your state championship ball game. We're going to let you pick which coaching style along the sidelines you prefer. Dorothy Gators, 43 years in the business. Eddie Niles in his 7th. This is how it looks.
And usually, though, Dorothy Gators is sitting. She actually stood up for a little bit there in the first quarter, but Eddie Niles a lot more animated, always talking. He says, you know, my kids have bought into it. Sometimes I yell or sub them out to talk to them or get in their face a little bit, but they go right back in and play well. And Dorothy Gators just always just calm, really just that calm, collected demeanor. And you know, we were asking her last night about, you know, being down 11-0 in the first quarter, down 15-0 to start the game, and how did she stay so calm? And she said, well, does my team no good for me to get all upset? They want to see some calm. They want to see some reassurance. There she is studying her notes. But that's kind of been her MO throughout her coaching career. Just really got a studious coach and that voice of reason for the Commandos.
You know, and obviously there's no right or wrong, because you said Harlan buys into what Eddie Niles does and Marshall buys into what Dorothy Gators does.
But I bet you if Eddie Niles is still coaching, 40 some odd years from now, like Dorothy Gators, he probably won't be quite as animated. I think age kind of is a part of that too. I would have liked to have seen Dorothy Gators in her 7th year of coaching, like Eddie Niles.
Well, that is not good news for Marshall Commando fans. That's Reynie down hard. Senior leader of this team.
Yeah, she's limping around there,
and Winston beat her to the ball.
Yeah, she's not moving well at all. She needs a sub right now, Dave.
She's got a tough matchup on Akila Anderson inside. Burks walked on the way to the basket. Now let's keep an eye on Rainey. There you see her number 11.
Boy, she almost looks like she's in tears to me. I'm watching her face, and boy, she is just biting her lip, trying to keep it all in. She's not moving well at all.
Had a problem last night with her ankle. She's able to stick it out. There's Dejanay James. 11 straight points scored by Marshall. Benton has the ball knocked away. James again. They will not catch her. And the Commandos starting to run out. 13-0 run. Last night, Marshall had a 16-0 run in the win over Teutopolis.
Well, this is a big timeout. Harlan doing Reynie a favor there by calling timeout. And right away, Dorothy Gators goes up to her and asking, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" Getting attended to there by the training staff. I don't think she is okay. She is in a lot of pain, and as you said, Dave, that is trouble for Marshall because Reynie does so much for this team in controlling the tempo, running the offense. And she had a huge game in the semifinals last night. A big reason why Marshall was able to pull out that win over Teutopolis, 16 points.
Here's how it went down, literally, for Reynie, number 11, right there.
Ooh. Oh, man, that didn't look pretty.
Yeah, that right ankle.
And she came into this game having hurt her ankle. So it was already somewhat compromised. And at this point, you know, she wants to be in this game so badly. Do you just kind of tape it up a little tighter, or what do you do? But they are going to figure out any way possible to get Reynie back into this basketball game.
Well, as you mentioned, she hurt her ankle in the Chicago City tournament and actually had trouble breathing in that ball game as well. Quickly the other way, the speed, a 15-0 run. Brandy Hudson, she's had ankle problems of her own. Didn't look like it there. Harlan in a little bit of trouble here early in the second quarter. Neil Robertson, guarded by Jalen Jimenez. Burks, that's what Harlan needs. They need the three ball to go.
The third three-pointer for Harlan, that's what they do. It's what they're best at, setting up for those long-range shots.
Jimenez, she can shoot it as well. Right now, Lady Falcons from Harlan, 3 of 6 from three-point range.
Multiple three-point threats on the floor for Harlan. Winston with over 300 threes. Kamira Burks, a really good three-point shooter. Tennille Robinson, also a very good three-point shooter.
That's the second foul on Naya Zamudio. He was in foul trouble last night for Marshall. Now it's Dejanay James that will run the point. Jimenez, she had 8 threes in the tournament game earlier this season. Winston, down the floor hard. And that may be Zamudio. Hope they will get James with the foul. Dejanay Winston at the free throw line. She missed a couple of free throws earlier. She and Burks each missed a pair, and that's when the Marshall run started. It was a 15-0 run before that last three by Burks. Now Rainey trying to walk it off in front of the Marshall bench.
21, Brittany Williams, Raiders game for Harlan.
Brittany Williams comes back in. Brittany Williams was hampered by foul trouble last night as well. They'll take Rainey down the hallway there. Let her do a little bit of jogging.
She's jogging the tunnel. Trying to see how much weight she can successfully put on that foot.
So very quietly, a three, couple of free throws, and it's a 4-point game. Just exploded out of the hands of Jalen Jimenez. And Rainey's coming back in. She obviously will not be full speed, but it's the presence that she will bring to the floor.
She's a fighter. She's a scrapper. moving much better than she was.
Robertson takes advantage of that. Anderson, nice board. To follow, no. Robertson, no.
Yeah, right away, Harlan, smart basketball going right at Rainey.
Just about midway through the second quarter in a 4-point game.
First, it was the love of your life. Then, the promotion you deserved. The daughter you planned for. And the son you didn't. Now you're ready for a new home. So how do you properly protect all this? To solve the big challenges of tomorrow, start with simple steps today. If you're ready to start, we're ready to help. So let's get started at countryfinancial.com.
You work hard, and you want to see your efforts pay off, literally. Whether you're dreaming of retirement, growing your business, or leaving a legacy for future generations, at Busey, we help you realize the possibilities of tomorrow. We listen to your needs and goals to create a sound strategy for you and your family. Enjoy the achievements of your life and work. We'll handle the rest. Busey, your dream, our promise.
The winningest coach in Illinois basketball history has 8 state championships for Dorothy Gators. It started in 1982. The thing that's impressive about all of this is 8 championships against 8 different programs. You talk about sustainability. Those are all great teams, right? East St. Louis, Lincoln, the New Triers, the Maine West, Galesburg. The common denominator is Marshall.
Yeah, just her career is spectacular. 1 undefeated season in 1982, 8 one-loss seasons, 39 of her 43 seasons, single-digit losses. And we asked her, does it ever get old? And she says no, because it's almost always a different group of girls. That this group much different than last year's state finals team. Only one starter back from last year's team for Marshall, and just all the influence that Dorothy Gators has had on different players, on coaching, on the sport of girls basketball in the state of Illinois in general. And she loves it.
Free throws, a major problem for Harlan. They trail by 4, and they are 2 for 8 from the free throw line. Robertson around Sims. Burks, the Clay Thompson of this team. And now it's a 7-0 run to pull the Lady Falcons within 2.
Eddie Niles, a huge fan of the Golden State Warriors, and he has assigned some of his players nicknames mirroring the Golden State Warriors. Steph Curry, Clay Thompson.
Draymond Green. Winston for the lead.
She's the Steph Curry. She loves to shoot those 3-pointers.
Quisha Sims. Get it to James. Harlan was really struggling. There's the long 3. Down it goes! Tamara Burks for the lead. And it's a 10-0 run immediately following the 15-0 run by Marshall. .3:15 to play in the first half. Remember, earlier this season, Harlan lost to the Commandos by 6. That was back on December 16th. By 55-49 margin.
Mira Burks just kind of pacing herself there where she gets to a range where she feels comfortable, but nobody from Marshall really guarding her, and that's a problem because if you've done your homework on this Harlan team, you got to know that's what they do. They pull it from almost anywhere on the floor, especially Burks and Winston, and shoot threes. Got to be in her face and extend long range to guard her. Now see, that's where Burks becomes a problem because she can also get to the basket. And you saw the little shot fake there from long range. That freezes the defense, gets the defense on its heels a little bit, and then Burks is good enough with the basketball, getting to the basket, putting the ball on the floor to really capitalize there.
Eddie Niles considers Burks like a daughter to him. He's known her since the 7th grade. Burks, a junior, already getting some Division I offers. Several other schools that are following her, and she knocks out a couple of free throws. 12 straight points now, scored by the Lady Falcons.
Division offers from Chicago State and Indiana State for Burks. She is one of those gym rats. Just loves to be in the gym, working on her shot, and it has showed this season. More than 70 three-pointers on the season for Kamira Burks.
Marshall led 19-10. Wow. And all of a sudden you look up, and yeah, the score you see, correct, 22-19. That 19-10 came after Marshall trailed 10-4. Over 4 minutes now for the Commandos without scoring. Walker off the miss from Winston. Reynie looking pretty good right here. The floater, though, short.
Marshall has had these scoring droughts here at the state finals. Obviously shut out 11-0 in the first quarter last night. And Winston, another three-pointer. That is the third in this game for Dejanay Winston.
When have you been at a ball game when there's been a 15-0 run by one team and then immediately a 15-0 run by another, and it could be more? Here's Winston, 17 straight. A 9-point deficit has turned into an 8-point lead for Harlan in the 2A state championship game. Long three this way, Jimenez, no. Williams with the foul. Will be her second.
Well, they say basketball game is a game of runs, and we have certainly seen that in this game. First Marshall, then Harlan.
Number 10 there is Mianda Rainey. That's the twin sister to Dionla, or Didi as they call her. You know, I was wondering, I did not ask. It's Mianda. I wonder if they call her Mimi, just as they call Dionla Didi.
I bet you they do.
Sister to sister playing catch up top now to the right side. Coming up on a minute to play in the first half. Good ball movement, ends up with Rainey. She'll knock down the three.
And if you're Marshall, there's one thing that you should know. Harlan is on this big run, but Marshall went on big runs of its own late in the game last night against two topless. I think that's why we're seeing a pretty calm demeanor out of the Commandos right now.
Mianda Rainey creating havoc. She was battling with Kamira Burks, hounding her, led to the turnover.
No one seems panicked for Marshall. You know, they're just trying to chip away at this deficit, but not panicked at all that Harlan had that big 15-0 run.
Now Marseille Bradley into the game. She did not play last night for Harlan, 5'4" sophomore. She'll come up and greet Rainey. Didi Rainey to Hudson. Honorable mention All-Stater, 15 points a game. Bradley will draw the foul with 33.3 seconds left. 1-and-1 time here for the Commandos.
14, Marseille Bradley, her first, team 7. Rainey at the free throw line, shooting 1.
Didi Rainey hitting 5 of 8 free throws last night against Teutopolis.
54% on the year, and that's a kind hop. Robertson, Winston, and Anderson back in. The final 33 seconds for Harlan. Eddie Niles playing a little offense-defense game here. Robertson with half a minute left. Winston finds an opening. Sims. Rainey has it with 10 seconds to play in a half. Inside Hudson. Back to Rainey for three. And that's how our first half will come to a close. My goodness. Marshall, trailing by 6, goes on a 15-0 run. And the moment that run stopped, Harlan ripped off the next 17 points. Marshall's biggest lead 9, Harlan's biggest lead 8, and as it all comes together at halftime, it's a 27-23 lead for Harlan, making its first appearance ever in the state finals. Eddie Niles standing by with Elise Menaker.
Coach, you just huddled up your team and delivered them a message. What did you have to say to them there at the end of the half?
Hey, they're not going to lay down and just let us win. We got to get out here and fight. We're playing passive. We're missing free throws. We're missing our assignments on defense. We got to get out here and play the game.
It's been a first half of runs. You went on your own 17-0 run. What led to that spark to start things off?
My coaching style, me stumping and being animated. That's how they respond.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
"25 of Harlan's 27 points coming from Kamara.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
All this took was a pristine SAT, ACT, and GPA. Before that, a healthy dose of travel field hockey, volunteering, the arts, and 18 years of everything else. Sending a kid to college is overwhelming. But to solve the big challenges of tomorrow, start with simple steps today. If you're ready to start, we're ready to help. So let's get started at countryfinancial.com. First, it was the love of your life. Then, the promotion you deserved. The daughter you planned for. And the son you didn't. Now you're ready for a new home. So how do you properly protect all this? To solve the big challenges of tomorrow, start with simple steps today. If you're ready to start, we're ready to help. So let's get started at countryfinancial.com.
You work hard, and you want to see your efforts pay off, literally. Whether you're dreaming of retirement, growing your business, or leaving a legacy.
Welcome back to Redbird Arena, where Harlan takes the 27-23 lead into the locker room in the 2A state championship game. Welcome back. What a first half we have, and more to come. Now, in this first half, it was a half of runs where Harlan went on a 17-0 run, Marshall a 15-0 run of their own. I talked to Coach Eddie Niles about that. He said his animated coaching style was the reason for their 17-0 run, but you could say, Trish, that Winston was a spark for this team as well, sinking 3 threes in that first half.
Well, that is what Harlan does. They have more than 220 threes on the season, and a little confused that Marshall wasn't picking up on that in the first half. Some of those threes that Winston took were pretty wide open, so Marshall's going to need to really make sure that they extend their defense and guard that three-point line, because that is what Harlan likes to do, and that's why Harlan has the lead.
Offensively for Marshall, we've seen them go on these scoring droughts, but overall in this first half, pretty balanced scoring. Like I said, a 15-0 run of their own. So what do they need to do in the second half to be more consistent or stay consistent?
Well, I think one concern for Marshall is, of course, Reynie. I saw her going into the tunnel, and she was limping. She wasn't looking great. She struggled there after she rolled her ankle. So that's going to be an issue for Marshall because she does everything. She runs the offense. She manages the team. She's a great defender. They need to try to get her healthy here during halftime, tighten up the tape, whatever they need to do to get her back on the court, and just continuing to get good shots. I think that she's really good at that. She does a great job of managing the offense and making sure that Marshall gets decent looks at the basket, continuing with that balance scoring to put pressure on the Harlan defense.
We'll definitely be keeping an eye on Didi. She also tweaked that right ankle last night as well, so we'll see if she can pull through in this second half. 27-23, Harlan with the lead at the break.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
All this took was a pristine SAT, ACT, and GPA. Before that, a healthy dose of travel field hockey, volunteering, the arts, and 18 years of everything else. Sending a kid to college is overwhelming. But to solve the big challenges of tomorrow, start with simple steps today. If you're ready to start, we're ready to help. So let's get started at countryfinancial.com. First, it was the love of your life. Then, the promotion you deserved. The daughter you planned for. And the son you didn't. Now you're ready for a new home. So how do you properly protect all this? To solve the big challenges of tomorrow, start with simple steps today. If you're ready to start, we're ready to help.
Welcome back, joined now by Karen Conkey. She's a regional coordinator of Life Goes On Organ and Tissue Donor. Tell me about this program and how you help people.
Very good. Well, I'm with the Organ Tissue Donor Program, which is with Illinois Secretary of State's office, and I'm here tonight with Donate Life Illinois, which is a coalition of organizations within Illinois that have a connection to organ and tissue donation, and this includes Gift of Hope Organ Tissue Donor Network and Eversight, which is the eye-bank for this area. And there are more than 5,000 people, or there's almost 5,000 people in Illinois waiting for organ donation. And so Secretary of State's office maintains the Organ Tissue Donor Registry for Illinois, and by joining the Life Goes On Organ Tissue Donor Registry, you can give hope to those 5,000 people that are waiting. Organ transplants can absolutely save lives and enhance. One person could help over 25 people, just one donor. So you can give hope to those people that are waiting for organ transplants by joining the registry. And just tonight, I have heard several stories of people who have stopped by our booth to tell us that they have had a family connection to organ and tissue donation. They've had a loved one receive that precious gift of life from someone that they didn't even know. They've had a loved one become a donor, and they just are very excited to tell their stories because it really helps life go on.
Thank you for sharing their stories and for the work that you do and the support. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We'll be back after this.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
All this took was a pristine SAT, ACT, and GPA. Before that, a healthy dose of travel field hockey, volunteering, the arts, and 18 years of everything else. Sending a kid to college is overwhelming. But to solve the big challenges of tomorrow, start with simple steps today. If you're ready to start, we're ready to help. So let's get started at countryfinancial.com. First, it was the love of your life. Then, the promotion you deserved. The daughter you planned for. And the son you didn't. Now you're ready for a new home. So how do you properly protect all this? To solve the big challenges of tomorrow, start with simple steps today. If you're ready to start, we're ready to help. So let's get started.
At halftime here, the fans being entertained by the Heritage High School band. And before we get started here, it is a 4-point ball game between Marshall and Harlan. And we'll be back with more basketball after this.
You work hard, and you want to see your efforts pay off, literally. Whether you're dreaming of retirement, growing your business, or leaving a legacy for future generations. At Busey, we help you realize the possibilities of tomorrow. We listen to your needs and goals to create a sound strategy for you and your family. Enjoy the achievements of your life and work. We'll handle the rest. Busey, your dream, our promise.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
All this took was a pristine SAT, ACT, and GPA. Before that, a healthy dose of travel field hockey, volunteering, the arts, and 18 years of everything else. Sending a kid to college is overwhelming. But to solve the big challenges of tomorrow, start with simple steps today. If you're ready to start, we're ready to help. So let's get started.
Joined now by Marshall head coach Dorothy. Gators coach down 4 at the break. Dee went into halftime hurting a little bit, her right ankle. How is she doing, and what will we see out of her in this second half?
She's going to play. You know, she won't be 100%. She's been bothered by her ankle probably about 3 weeks now, you know, but she's constantly played on it, so she'll be okay.
How does your team have to adjust with Dee not at 100%?
Well, somebody else just has to step up, that's all. So, you know, we've changed her responsibilities on defense, so we put somebody else that can handle the ball handle a little better. So, you know, we'll see.
You've been in this situation before, I'm going to guess.
Yeah.
Thanks, Coach.
Eileen Benton gets things started for Harlan here as we get the second half underway. Harlan now 10 of 20 from the field. Marshall just 35% shooting. However, Harlan, despite that great shooting percentage, they have turned the ball over 12 times in the first 2 quarters.
There's Reynie with the ball. And I'll be interested to see what her role is going to be exactly for Marshall here in this game. Defensively, on that first offensive possession for Harlan, I saw her on Dejanay Winston, who she's still on Dejanay Winston, which is an interesting cover for Marshall, considering that Dejanay Winston is Harlan's leading scorer. Offensively, to see what Reynie is responsible for.
And it will be Rokisha Sims taking on Tennille Robertson right here. So that's the switch. Rainey Heaven guarding Robertson. Robertson gets all the way there and finishes.
Robinson heads up for her, taking advantage of that defensive switch.
Anderson will knock it away on the intended pass for Walker. Harlan, its biggest lead, matching its biggest at 8. Robertson on Sims. Reynie the other way, about half speed. Zamudio blocked from behind and in a big way. Now Hudson in, Walker out for the Commandos. Dejanay James also checking in. She'll replace Dashiera Butts. Getting into the hands of number 2. Here comes Robertson.
Well, at halftime, when Harlan came out early to shoot, I saw Robinson and head coach Eddie Niles in quite a discussion. It seemed like he was trying to motivate her and get her fired up for the second half. She was kind of quiet in that first half.
Yesterday, 16 points, 12 rebounds. Rainey on the runner. And battle won by Benton. Eileen Benton, that's your Draymond Green. Eddie Niles, he says she's going to keep her team and the other team in line. Strong on the glass right there. I've seen it in each of the 2 games. You mentioned it earlier, Trish. Marshall's offense just seems to come and go in a rhythm and then not.
They were really out of rhythm last night early in the semifinals. But yeah, they are hot or not.
Robertson in no hurry with the 8-point lead. Ooh, Benton, slick little pass to Anderson.
Probably just being scrappy. I mean, they're coming up with loose balls. They're going after offensive rebounds. And they're doing a good job of drawing fouls. I mean, Marshall's got 3 or 4 fouls already in this third quarter.
Zamudio just picked up her 3rd. Dejanay James has 4. James, who was a big contributor last night, has a couple of baskets today. And Zamudio, a long-range threat in trouble. Butts away with it. Sims. Williams gets a hand in the ball and forces the turnover. 10th turnover of the night for the Commandos. Harlan has never been to the state finals in the 55-year history of the school, in the 41-year history of the girls basketball tournament. Marshall looking for their 9th state championship. Eddie Niles wants a timeout with 4:53 to play in the third quarter. We'll take a break as well. 31-23 is the Lady Falcons on top.
First, it was the love of your life. Then, the promotion you deserved. The daughter you planned for. And the son you didn't. Now you're ready for a new home. So how do you properly protect all this? To solve the big challenges of tomorrow, start with simple steps today. If you're ready to start, we're ready to help. So let's get started at countryfinancial.com.
You work hard, and you want to see your efforts pay off, literally. Whether you're dreaming of retirement, growing your business, or leaving a legacy for future generations, at Busey, we help you realize the possibilities of tomorrow. We listen to your needs and goals to create a sound strategy for you and your family. Enjoy the achievements of your life and work. We'll handle the rest. Busey, your dream, our promise.
Hello, I'm Dion Rainey from Marshall. One TV show fans would be surprised I watch is The Dancing Dolls. Something about Coach that everyone don't know is she loves dogs. She got like 4 of them. My favorite food or pregame meal is cereal. I love cereal. My favorite dance move is... Stop laughing at me.
Oh, it amazes me when we do those interviews, a lot of folks, they just don't think they can dance or sing, and here they are performing acrobatic maneuvers here on the basketball floor. Well, Marshall's looking to get their offense in gear here. Since it was 19-10, that came the 6:39 mark of the second quarter. Harlan's gone on a 21-4 run, so the Commandos only scored 4 points, now coming up on 10 minutes in this game. It's all added up to an 8-point lead for the Lady Falcons. Hudson, strong inside. Anderson rips it away. Robertson to Winston.
Well, that's the other thing that Harlan has done so well this season is not only hit 3-pointers, but they like to get up and down. They like to model their game after the Golden State Warriors. Up-tempo, fast-paced, trying to score in transition, trying to catch Marshall sleeping there. Winston has been active today. It's her 14th point of this game. She ended up having a good game last night against Eureka, 16 points, but she didn't shoot the ball particularly well. I feel like she's playing much looser, much more confident in this game. And, these Harlan girls, they've got something to prove. They lost earlier this season to Marshall during the regular season.
Although this game is against 2 CPS teams, Niles said when we talked to him early in the week, before he knew he was going to be in this game, he said, if I get to play Marshall, number one, it's going to be all about revenge. He remembers that 6-point loss in the middle of December. 4 minutes gone here in the third quarter. Benton just misses Burks.
And I think that these Harlan players have kind of taken on the mentality of their coach and Eddie Niles, who they feel like they have something to prove. You know, Marshall's the big dog in Chicago with all the tradition and the history. And that's a great move by Reynie with that bad ankle. She looked great getting to the basket there. But these Harlan girls have something to prove. They want to start their own chain of history. They're playing with some fire in the belly.
Basket by Rainey. First Marshall points this quarter. And you saw Rainey peel herself up off the floor. She is just gutting it out. Here she is on the offensive end.
And that was a tough move anyway, but on a bad ankle. Wow. Rainey just so gutsy. We knew that last night, but she's showing it even more here tonight.
Anderson out of there with it. That's her 9th rebound tonight for Akilah Anderson. Little shuffle there for Eileen Benton. Benton, 5'10" senior. Brittany Williams back into the game. A replacement. And this is become about a 6-player rotation here for Harlan. Seen a little bit of Kayla Niles. Saw Marseille Bradley just for very brief moments. Marshall bench a little deeper. Dorothy Gators will go about 70. This was just about the time last night in the semifinal against Teutopolis that Marshall started making a move, led by Reynie. Butts. Zamudio. And that was deflected off the hands of Brittany Williams.
Well, Brandy Hudson, number 14 for Marshall, was really fighting for some position inside, posting up strong, wanting the basketball. She wasn't getting it. Marshall needs to find a way to get her more involved, especially with Reynie not feeling great. Hudson's the leading scorer on this team, and there they try to get it to her.
Butts misses the easy one inside.
You see the attention that Hudson draws. Butts wide open. She needed to finish on that shot.
Winston beats everybody down the floor, and Robertson finds her.
Bad misses sometimes lead to easy baskets on the other end. Marshall needing to capitalize on those bunnies.
Reynie, this would be a big one if it goes.
Wow. I mean, this is quite a performance by Reynie. The courage that she is showing to play through what we know is some significant pain in that ankle.
14 points, 3 3-pointers. Takes a 9-point lead down to 6. And that will be a foul on Jimenez.
You see here in transition, Harlan making Marshall pay for a bad miss at the other end. Winston has just been on fire in this game, and Reynie coming up with a huge shot for Marshall in a quarter that has seen Marshall score only 5 points.
But there's Winston from the left corner for her 4th 3-pointer tonight. 19 points, and just like that, the lead goes back to 9. Dejanay Winston, I put a stopwatch on how long that ball is in her hands before she releases. It gets up and out of there as quickly as anybody we've seen in this tournament. Jimenez. Backboards belonging to Harlan. Total rebounding numbers even, but here in this quarter, Keila Anderson has been coming up strong.
She has 9 rebounds in this game, and here she is finishing strong inside and not going to get tagged with a charge. Kind of dipped that shoulder. She was going up strong. And I don't like those calls because, you know, as post players, we have to fight so hard for position inside, Dave. I mean, come on. I know world's smallest violin, right? But still, I like the aggressiveness. I like going up strong. That's a tough call for Anderson.
Williams the reach in. Brittany Williams with her 3rd foul. Anderson with 3. On the other side for Marshall, 3 fouls on Zamudio, 4 personal fouls on Dejanay James.
Do you not have any sympathy for us post players, Dave? Seriously.
No, you're close to the basket.
Yeah, but we're getting pounded.
I was a guard. I had to make it from long distance.
Oh, cry me a river. Nobody's pushing on you the entire game, though.
Dashiera Butts narrows it to 7. Burks. Still, after that miss, Harlan has made 50% of their 3-pointers tonight, 6 of 12. 20 seconds, great feed inside to Butts. It came from Zamudio.
The assist from Zamudio.
With 6 to play in the 3rd. Oh my goodness! Kamara Burks beats the buzzer under pressure. Burks with 3 3-pointers, Winston with 4. Little stop and pop. And an 8-point lead for Harlan in their first appearance in the state basketball finals.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
All this took was a pristine SAT, ACT, and GPA. Before that, a healthy dose of travel field hockey, volunteering, the arts, and 18 years of everything else. Sending a kid to college is overwhelming. But to solve the big challenges of tomorrow, start with simple steps today. If you're ready to start, we're ready to help. So let's get started at Country Financial.
The Harlan cheerleaders made the trip from Chicago down to Normal, Illinois, and right now, with 8 minutes to play, they're looking at a potential state championship. 40-32 at the end of 3. Dave Bernhard, Patricia Babcock-McGraw, and Melise Menaker with you here today. Earlier today, state championship in Class 1A was held, and Danville Schlarman with the win over Stockton. It was Schlarman that got their first state title. Harlan has used outstanding shooting from three-point range. Lady Falcons 7 of 12 from 3. Zamudio tries to answer, can't do it there. Butt's working hard. Now Jimenez. Robertson. Numbers. With the pick, Rainey. Has Butts ahead. Got it to her one way or another. Right now, Marshall playing with a sense of urgency. Nothing going down, however.
Sense of urgency, but not panic. I harken back to last night, Dave, and just the terrible start that Marshall had against Two Topless. Down 15 zip at one point. And to come back, scratch and claw back into that game, I think gave this team a lot of confidence, a lot of resiliency. They are not panicking about being down 8. There's still a full quarter to go. They remember what it took to get back into that game and to win that game in double overtime against Two Topless last night. I feel like this team is still in it mentally. They know that they can win this game, but Harlan, they're playing tough basketball here tonight.
Interesting to see the pace at which Harlan plays. Anderson around Walker. Oh my gosh, it went in. It sat on the lip for a second and dropped in for Anderson. That's her first points of the night.
And I like that confidence out of Anderson to take it to the hole strong, because remember, on her last attempt at the basket, she got tagged with an offensive charge. And she split 3 defenders to get that basket.
It is the biggest lead tonight, 42-32. Here's Anderson, and it just sat there.
Going up strong, but Anderson really becoming a force here for Harlan. 10 rebounds now, getting on the scoreboard. Harlan finding it in different ways. They've had the long-range shooting going. That's how they've scored a lot of their points. 7 threes for Harlan, and to have somebody like Anderson step up and be able to provide some interior scoring, it's huge for this team, because that's going to really put the Marshall defense in a bind.
Well, one might say with exactly 7 minutes left, 10-point difference, boy, it's going to take quite a run here for Marshall to do some damage. But remember, the Commandos had a 15-0 run that was immediately followed by a 17-0 run by Harlan. And we've seen Marshall in the last 2 games. They can rip off points in a hurry.
They can be quiet for a long time, and they can score a lot of points quickly.
Keila Anderson has been working hard all night. You saw her first basket, 10 hard-earned rebounds.
It's been part of the frustration for Dorothy Gators with this Marshall group. They're young and inexperienced, and they have those inconsistencies where they're up and they're down and they're back up again.
Nothing inside. Sims. 2 Butts. Marshall tonight 3 of 14 from 3-point range. Oh, that's a strong move inside. It will go for Brandy Hudson.
A strong move against a strong defender in Anderson for Harlan. Brandy Hudson just took it right at Anderson.
Burks and Zamudio, the matchup right now. Winston, catch, shoot. Rebound to Sims.
Great look.
Butts couldn't find a basket. Sims again. This time Zamudio. Big three.
Huge. Great ball movement by Marshall, and way to hustle up after that offensive rebound. Keeping that possession alive, every possession. So crucial right now for Marshall, chasing this deficit.
Freshman knocks it down. 5-point game. Burks passed up the three. And the turnover. Is this the run that's coming for the Commandos?
This is what we saw to Marshall last night. Defense turning into offense.
They've scored the last 5. Butts.
Wow, Butts wide open. The Red Sea parting for Butts. Where was the Harlan defense on that one?
Now 7 straight, a 10-point lead, down to 3. Eddie Niles wants a timeout. 5 minutes left. Who knows what will happen here in the final 5 near 2A championship ball game. Marshall on the move. Zamudio, the freshman. Butts, the junior.
First, it was the love of your life. Then, the promotion you deserved. The daughter you planned for. And the son you didn't. Now you're ready for a new home. So how do you properly protect all this? To solve the big challenges of tomorrow, start with simple steps today. If you're ready to start, we're ready to help. So let's get started at countryfinancial.com.
You work hard, and you want to see your efforts pay off, literally. Whether you're dreaming of retirement, growing your business, or leaving a legacy for future generations, at Busey, we help you realize the possibilities of tomorrow. We listen to your needs and goals to create a sound strategy for you and your family. Enjoy the achievements of your life and work. We'll handle the rest. Busey, your dream, our promise.
Give you a couple elbows.
Eddie Niles working his huddle hard. Number 5 there is Dejanay Winston. Big night tonight. She had 16 points last night. Tonight, the 5'6" senior lighting it up. 3-point specialist, and she is not disappointed, Harlan fans.
Well, her head coach, Eddie Niles, calls Dejanay Winston Miss Steph Curry, hitting 3-pointers for her entire career, and we haven't seen it in the state finals, but one of the things that Harlan has done all season has been jacking up half-court shots, and Dejanay Winston has been really big on that, has increased her range over the course of her career, and boy, she has been lighting it up here tonight. And speaking of lighting it up, not quite for Zamudio.
Winston. They get it back to Robertson. Good decision with 4:40 to play. State title on the line in Class 2A. Robertson inside, then out. Benton lost the handle, and Hudson wrong spot. The ball deflects off her leg.
Number 3, Kamara Burks enters the game for Harlan.
Burks comes back in to replace Benton. A foul on Rainey. Burks is making the cut to the basket. It's a 16 foul on Marshall with 4:21 left. Harlan with 4 fouls. Didn't get it in. Another turnover. 20 turnovers tonight for the Lady Falcons.
Some of them are coming at very inopportune times here down the stretch.
Marshall in the midst of a 7-0 run. Face their biggest deficit. That was 10 at the 5-minute mark.
Anderson and Hudson in a fight down in the post. Look at them right there. Yeah, I mean, that, I saw that coming from a mile away. Those two were just jockeying and pushing and pulling each other for position. That's going to be a foul on Anderson.
That'll be her fourth. That would be big if she has to leave this game. It's a 9-0 run. Reynie with their 16th point. A 1-point game. Roberts or make that Winston a tough shot.
Boy, she wanted some contact on that as well. Tough shot to make with the defense right in your face.
(44-41). Marshall went to double overtime last night for the win. Zamudio, it's good!
Two big threes here in this fourth quarter by Zamudio.
And just like that, we are tied at 44.
This is all that the Chicago Public Schools could have hoped for in this state championship game, tied with 3 minutes to go. How about it?
A 12-2 run by the Commandos. Sims will be shooting free throws for the lead. First time tonight at the line for Roquisha Sims, only 56% shooter. And Akila Anderson just picked up her 5th personal foul at the 3:02 mark of the fourth quarter. And Harlan will have to make a decision as to how they will substitute. It will be Eileen Benton. So Anderson will leave. 2 quick fouls here in the fourth quarter. 2 points, 10 rebounds, and a presence inside.
And that's a huge loss because I thought that she was really doing battle inside. You mentioned the boards. A big rebounding day for Anderson with the 10 rebounds, but also Marshall's trying to get it inside to their leading scorer, Brandy Hudson, and Anderson and Hudson were battling, and Anderson making it really tough for Hudson to get the basketball. Now maybe it might be a little easier for Hudson to go to work and bring this one home for Marshall. Got to think that Marshall's going to be looking to her in these last 3 minutes.
Last time Marshall led came midway through the second quarter. The run that we were waiting for has happened for Marshall. The Commandos, bidding for their 9th state title, hold the 2-point lead. That is it's a traveling call.
Neil Robinson can't believe it. Slow to get up. That was a hard spill to the floor. She's wondering where the travel was. Same with Eddie Niles.
Marshall has gone on a 14-2 run since the score was 42-32. Sims. Benton gets a hand on the ball. Zamudio to the line.
Zamudio, she has really picked up her play in this fourth quarter. 8 points now. Both of her threes have come in this fourth quarter. She has had a quiet run here at the state finals, and she is Marshall's second leading scorer, about 10 points per game. Did not reach double figures last night in the semifinals. Trying to get there now. She's hit some big shots late.
Came up short on both those free throws, however. Free ball is still in play for Harlan. The Lady Falcons get the timeout. Harlan will have just one timeout remaining. Boy, this game has turned how many different times tonight?
Many times.
And again, if you're just walking into this one with us, you obviously see it's a 2-point game with 2:23 to play. What you didn't see was Marshall scoring 15 straight points to go on top by 9. Harlan scoring the next 17 to turn it around, building a lead, and then all of a sudden Marshall right now in the midst of a 14-2 run, and this is how it went down. Speaking of going down, there's one of the threes from Niles. Ashira Butts got in on the action. Courageous Reynie playing on a bad ankle. Zamudio again. The Marshall fans feeling it. They didn't at about the 5-minute mark.
I think the key to this entire game for Marshall has just been poise. They've been down this road before where they've faced some adversity. Last night, a terrible amount of adversity for Marshall, getting off to that terrible start, and then coming back and withstanding 2 overtimes against Dutopolis, and now really putting the clamps down defensively on Harlan here in the fourth quarter. Harlan just 4 fourth quarter points to 14 for Marshall.
Rainey with a team high 16 points. Still favoring the ankle. Winston right into the hands of Rainey. Zamudio.
And here you go, just needing to take a breath, work the clock, calm down. Dorothy Gators with their hands stretched apart saying, hey, let's just chill out, spread the floor. See, is about as spread as the floor could get here for Marshall. Everybody in the corners trying to work the clock.
Rainey again. Burks will get her, and Rainey will go to the line. 54% free throw shooter, 1 of 2 tonight.
But 5 of 8 last night with the game on the line for Marshall. Rainey really came up big in crunch time at the free throw line.
1 and 1 for Rainey. She gets another. And another. 18 points for Rainey, a 4-point lead for the Commandos. Marshall has scored 16 of the last 18 points in this game. Winston lets it go. Now we'll walk the long trip down to the end of the floor where Naya Zamudio will head for a 1 and 1.
Big rebound there by Butts for Marshall.
Foul number 5, AJ Winston. First foul, 19th foul.
Zamudio, 61% free throw shooter. Missed 2 earlier here in the fourth quarter.
You know, you're going to get those moments, though. She's had some big threes, but missing some crucial free throws. Just a freshman. Dorothy Gator saying we get that sometimes out of our freshmen. Sometimes she's great. Sometimes she needs a little work. Typical freshman. Kind of inconsistent.
Marshall foul on 25.
Definitely, I think, having mostly a positive effect for Marshall.
AJ Winston at the free throw line.
Hit some big shots, Zamudio.
Dejanay Winston steps to the line with those 21 points with 3-point numbers. 12 of those 21 coming from outside the arc. 1 and 1. Harlan elected not to have anybody in the lane, instead looking to put pressure. Williams closed a little bit too late for Brittany Williams. That will be her 4th foul. This game to be decided at the free throw line. That's the 10th foul on Harlan. Double bonus coming up here for Roquisha Sims. She swished a couple free throws a few moments ago. Commandos knocking them down when it counts.
Now remember though, Harlan, a fabulous three-point shooting team. Very few single-digit games are ever out of reach for Harlan with the way that they can shoot the three.
Here they come. Robertson. She's going to go the distance.
Oh man, just had a bad angle on that one. But hustles for the offensive board.
We're down at 35 seconds. Looking for Winston. Butts is there. Robertson's there. Burks is there. And the wild flurry ends with 23.7 seconds left and free throws.
Harlan calling number 10, Eileen Benton, her 3rd.
Timeout. Commandos.
Harlan certainly had some good chances there. You want a player like Burks, number 3, to be able to shoot a 3, and she had a good look, well within her range, even though she was a couple steps beyond the 3-point line. I like all the hustle for the loose balls. Each team knowing how critical each situation is here in the final 30 seconds. Both of these teams have fought and scrapped and just played such a great game. The different moments, all the different runs in this game by both teams. Pride on the line for the city of Chicago, Chicago Public Schools just on center stage here tonight. And it's been a great game, great showcase for city basketball here at Redbird Arena.
Dorothy Gators looking for 1,106th win, and she's been helped to get to that spot by Rainey. The 5'4" senior, 3-year starter for the Commandos, playing injured but getting it done.
Unbelievable what Rainey has been able to do in this game on a bad ankle. And we saw the replay of which she injured her ankle this time around. It was already injured coming into the state finals, but she tweaked it good here tonight. And yet, here's Reynie with 18 points at the line, trying to ice the game and a state championship for Marshall. Just an incredible performance by Rainey, the senior, giving it everything she has in her final high school basketball game.
She is our Country Financial Player of the Game. Money. 20 points for Rainey. 7-point lead. Burks. Sims. Rainey. They'll get it one more time to Butts for the layup, for the clincher. And Marshall.
They know it.
And Dorothy Gators. 9th state championship in Marshall history.
And not easy at all this time around. Sometimes Dorothy Gators has had all-star teams of just superstars who've gone on to play in college and in the WNBA. This team a little different, a lot of youth on this team. Only one returning starter from last year's team that went down here downstate. And they faced a lot of adversity, Dave, in the state finals. Big deficits last night in the semifinals. Deficits here tonight in the state championship game, and just kept plugging away. The resiliency of this group, just always believing, kind of taking on the persona of their head coach and the calm, cool demeanor that she has. Just so impressed with the way Marshall came back and won this state championship game in a dramatic fashion, really showing us their character as a group.
Harlan was in complete control early in the fourth quarter. Lady Falcons on top, 42-32. Then it turned. Marshall closes the game on a 21-2 run. Incredible.
And remember, I mentioned that halfway through the fourth quarter, Harlan had just 4 points. Again, finishing the fourth quarter with just 4 points. Marshall really cranking up the defensive pressure, creating turnovers. Harlan with 24 turnovers on this game.
Let's go down to Elise Menaker.
Very emotional, Dee Rainey, and Coach. Dee, what are you feeling right now? I can see the tears coming out.
I'm just happy.
Your final game, you really left it all on the court. We know that you were dealing with your ankle injury. You were not going to go out of this game. Where did you get the composure to stay out there and lead this team?
They needed me. I had to do what I had to do. Suck it up. Play hard.
You all rush over to Coach after the game, give her a big hug. What does this mean for your coach and your program just to get her 9th state title?
It means a lot. It means a lot. It's our first 2A state champion, and I'm just happy to be a part of that.
And for you, like you said, to leave here a champion, end your high school career on a win, not many people get to do that. How does that feel to be one of those people?
It feels amazing. Amazing. Win.
And Coach, all these girls come over to rush and hug you, and you just keep saying, get off of me. A very subdued celebration for you. I just saw a little fist pump, too, with Coach. Your 9th state title. What makes this one special?
You know, they've all been special. They've all been, you know, with different groups of kids who have the same dedication that these guys have. So each one is different, but each one is special.
You told me yesterday that you stay calm on the sidelines jokingly so you don't have a heart attack, but boy, these games aren't making it easy.
Oh, wow.
Where do your games...
We've been playing in peaks and valleys. You know, kids get tentative. We are still very young. We start only one senior. We started one junior. I think we started 2 today. So they're very, very young.
Speaking of that youth, where does your team find the composure when you're down double digits in a couple of games in crucial situations to stay calm and pull out the wins?
Well, you know, it's no magic. I wish I had, you know, just one sentence to say, but it's just, you know, it's all due to their effort, their hard work, and their desire to win.
What keeps it fresh and special even after all these years and all these wins for you?
Well, you know, it's always a new group of kids. And last year we had an amazing team that we had so much talent when those kids came in as freshmen. So I may have done a disservice to the program, but we played up 3A. We've been a 2A school for 3 years.
Coach Dee, congratulations.
The senior and Dorothy Gators. Back in 1982, Dorothy Gators won the first state title. Take it all the way down to 2018. 10 years after the last one, Harlan falls to Marshall and the Commandos. 9 state titles, all under Ms. Gators.
43 years for Dorothy Gators. Just a special coach and a great representative for Illinois girls basketball.
Award ceremony taking place. Let's join Jeff Fritzen.
Principal Richard Worley. Assistant Principal Andy Underwood. Athletic Trainer Colleen Daniels. Head Coach Jerry Prina. Assistant Coach and Athletic Director Jason Green. Assistant Coach Sherry Silverthorne. Assistant Coach Kellen Ehrenhart. Videographer Katie Underwood. Videographer Morgan Kieser. Manager Maddie Farney. Manager Mara Miller. Bookkeeper Christy McKay. And your squad members, number 5, Tessa Lehman. Excuse me, that was number 2, Darby Lehman. This is number 5, Tessa Lehman. Number 10, Natalie Bardwell. Number 11, Natalie Anderson. Number 12, Courtney Heffron. Number 14, Sydney Silverthorne. Number 20, Cassidy Post. 21, Allison Knoll. 24, Morgan Green. Number 30, Meredith Bardwell. 35, Lauren Osmus. And number 40, Natalie Meese. Will Coach Prina and the captains from Eureka High School please step forward to receive the 4th place trophy. At this time, please meet the ladies' shoes of Teutopolis High School, who finished the season in 3rd place with a final record of 29 wins and 7 losses. First, the superintendent, Bill Fritcher. Principal, Greg Beck. Athletic Director, Mike Wilson. Head Coach, Lori Thompson. Assistant Coach, Josh Cottrell. Assistant Coach, Maria Taylor. Assistant Coach, Heather Warman. Manager, Abby Blummer. Manager, Leah Shoemaker. Number 1, Morgan Meddy. Number 2, Savannah Grimes. Number 4, Ian Beaker. Number 10, Sadie Beaker. Number 11, Lexi Niebrugge. 13, Sierra Repke. Number 14, Mariana Hemmen. 15, Olivia Niemerg. 23, Allie Brumlevy. 24, Macy Michaels. Number 25, Julia Fry. 31, Carson Meddy. 33, Hope Beaker. Number 44, Hannah Prummer. Number 45, Claire Busher. And number 50, Emma Daters. And now will Coach Thompson and the captains from Teutopolis High School please step forward to receive the 3rd place trophy. At this time, please meet the Lady Falcons of Harlan High School, who finished the season in 2nd place with a final record of 26 wins and 7 losses. First meet the Executive Director of CPS Sports Administration, Carl Kemp. CPS Regional Athletic Director Cindy Irvin. Network 12 Chief Jeffrey Dace. Principal Ramona Fannings Outlaw. Assistant Principal Lynn Fields. Athletic Director Tamara Ellis. Assistant Athletic Director Walter Wagheron. Head Coach Eddie Niles. Assistant Coach Ted Tynes. Manager Avion Smith. Manager Delani Blair. Manager Amber Gibson. Number 1, Monique Avery. Number 2, Tennille Robertson. Number 3, Kamira Burks. Number 4, Shanae Guy. Number 5, Dejanay Winston. Number 10, Eileen Benton. 14, Marseille Bradley. 15, Narcia Brown. 21, Brittany Williams. 30, Kayla Niles. And 33, Akila Anderson. And now would Coach Niles and the captains of Chicago Harlan High School step forward to please receive the second place trophy. At this time, please meet the Commandos of Marshall High School, who finished the season in first place with a final record of 24 wins and 7 losses. First meet the Executive Director of CPS Sports Administration, Carl Kemp. CPL Regional Athletic Director, Cindy Irvin. Head Coach and Athletic Director, Dorothy Gators. Assistant Coach, Gwynne Howard. Assistant Coach, Kimya Murray. Assistant Coach, Fred Eaton. Assistant Coach, Sandra Murphy. Scorekeeper, Kirby Green. Manager, Cameron Williams. Manager, Jamesha Hudson. Number 10, Mianda Reynie. Number 11, Dion Reynie. Number 12, Jaylyn Jimenez. Number 14, Brandy Hudson. Number 20, Dashiera Butts. Number 21, Dejanay James. 22, Jayana Smith. Number 25, Naya Zamudio. 25, Roquisha Sims. Number 30, Ashanti Kaiser. Number 31, Tamariana Levy. And number 34, Kenosha Walker. And now will Coach Gators and the captains from Marshall please step forward to receive the first place trophy.
So the Marshall Commandos pick up that 2A state championship trophy, and in the process, they claim their 9th state title. And in the course of 2 days, we saw history, we saw newcomers, but I think in a way, Marshall, their team, taught us all something that transcends sports.
Yeah, I'm just so impressed with Marshall. What a showcase of determination and resiliency by the Commandos. Late deficits in both the semifinal and the championship game. And a great lesson to all young basketball players out there. You might be down, but you are never out if you keep on persevering, and Marshall did just that. What a great weekend for the Marshall Commandos, state champs.
53-44 the final over Harlan in a historical night for CPS. An historical weekend for Danville Schlarman. They pick up the Class 1A title. But here tonight, runs, comebacks, enthusiasm, and emotion. It's all part of America's original March Madness, and it will continue next week when we come back to Redbird Arena for the 3A and 4A Girls State Basketball Championships. Thanks for joining us, everybody, on NBC Sports Chicago.